and welcome to Game and Read Checkpoint, where we update you on what we're reading and playing.
So first things first is the announcement for our next pairing video.
Yay!
Yes, and this time around we are dealing with kids in the woods, paranormal activity, weird mysteries going on, and we're doing that with Oxenfree by Night School Games, and the first two volumes of Lumberjanes, a comic created by Grace Ellis and Shannon by Boom Studios.
So what I'm reading right now, I am really excited because I am reading Lisa Unger's new book that hasn't come out yet called Ink and Bone, and I am reading it via NetGalley. If you're not familiar with NetGalley, you can go on there and request advanced reader copies or ARCs of books that are coming out from a bajillion different publishers. There's a whole lot of publishers, and if you are approved, they'll send you an ebook. So Peter and I have gotten on NetGalley, and we've gotten a few ARCs or advanced reader copies, and Ink and Bone is one of them. And I really like Lisa Unger's stuff. It's very thriller, usually some paranormal-y stuff, murder. Ink and Bone is no different, but in the best way. So I'm about halfway through Ink and Bone. It comes out on June 7th. So look for a review of Ink and Bone by Lisa Unger over at Game and Read on the 7th, on its release date.
Yeah, and on that note, I am also reading something for review that we got from NetGalley. I am reading Infomocracy by Malka. It is also coming out on the 7th, so we'll have two reviews going up that day, one by Erin, one by me. And it is set in a near future world where the government has been totally overhauled. There's a global government, but also like small individual pods, and everybody's all up in arms about the election. There's this giant Google type combination called Information that kind of runs everything, but also is a very neutral body. And weird stuff is happening. There might be a conspiracy. It's pretty interesting so far. It's a fun piece of fiction. I'm about a third of the way, a little bit more than that. And yeah, I'll be having that up for review on the 7th.
Something else that I am currently reading is I Let You Go by Clare Mackintosh. And this is the book that I got for May's Book of the Month Club. If you remember, I got a subscription to Book of the Month Club for graduation from my parents. Go parents! And I got to pick my first one in May, and yes, I know that it is June, but I'm reading my May one now, and it's really awesome so far. It opens with a hit and run and the death of a 5-year-old boy, and then it switches narratives. I know, it's really sad. It switches narratives between first-person perspective of his mother and the aftermath of the accident, and then third-person perspective of the detectives who are on the case. And, you know, they have no real evidence because it was a hit and run and no one saw anything, but they're really committed to this case. But who knows? The mother's disappeared. I know where she is because I'm reading the book, but detectives don't know where she is because...
Dramatic irony.
Woo! So I am really enjoying that. I am looking forward to my next Book of the Month Club book, so I thought I would finish the first one.
Sounds like a good idea.
You know, I Let You Go, Clare Mackintosh. I love detective stories, and it is one.
Indeed. Now, next thing I have, so our next pairing's Oxenfree, Lumberjanes. I played Oxenfree because...
What?
Yeah, no, because we can't pair it if we both haven't played it and read it. Now, I really like this game for the most part. It is kind of a pseudo-adventure game. There's not a ton of, actual game playing. You are controlling Alex, who's gone on an overnight to this island. It's kind of a high school coming of age, or a rite of passage with a few of her friends and her new stepbrother Jonas. And weird stuff starts happening. Very kind of spooky things are occurring. And yeah, no, it's some freaky stuff. And most of what you're doing is moving Alex around, controlling dialogue choices that only have so much time to select, and then they can vastly alter how each character see each other. And I'm guessing certain parts of the actual story. I don't know, I've only played through once. And then you're also doing small puzzles with this radio that is creating weird effects on the island.
Cool.
So that's pretty much the whole actual action of the game, but it's a fairly interesting story if you use the term walking simulator. I consider it more of an non-puzzling adventure game where, I don't know, I got on edge just kind of experiencing it, but it was pretty fun.
I watched Peter play it, well, not watched him, but like watched him, not the screen, but his face, and I'm excited and also a little scared to play it. Because at one point he goes, I wonder if it's supposed to be this creepy, and I thought, oh no.
Yeah, no, it did a good job on me. Mind you, I'm a wimp with anything remotely like creepy. I'm just like, monsters and ghosts. So I'm a total wimp about that. But Oxenfree, I like it.
So the last thing that I want to talk about today also has creepy, scary things in it. It is a book I just finished called The Brotherhood of the Wheel by R.S. Belcher. And I loved it so much. So I read one of Belcher's other books, The Six Gun Tarot, which is the first in a series. I read that a couple weeks ago and really enjoyed it. And at the recommendation of my friend Jordan, I picked up The Brotherhood of the Wheel. And it is wonderful and awesome and fantastic. So basically the Knights Templar of medieval times is continuing as truckers and cabbies.
I wonder how Dan Brown feels about this, writer of the Da Vinci Code. He didn't seem to like the Templars very much, although I don't think they were truckers in his world.
Perhaps not. Also, I've never read Dan Brown, so I don't feel like I'm qualified to answer that. But the Knights of the Templar are truckers, and they're great. And basically, they protect the highways because the Knights Templar were originally supposed to protect the pathways that people traveled on, and so that has been continued. And we open into trucker highway serial killers, potentially supernatural demon stuff. And I really loved it. I was totally captivated by the story. I think R.S. Belcher does a really great job of starting with all these narratives that seem like they're totally all over the place, but then he weaves them together so brilliantly until everyone's in the same place and experiencing the craziness that's going on. He plays with fantasy and realism and supernaturalism and all this stuff really well, and I just loved it. I think maybe there's another one coming out in this same series. I am going to go back and read the rest of the other series, which of course I can't remember what it's called right now because that would be helpful. But R.S. Belcher, really awesome. Brotherhood of the Wheel. Check it out.
Last thing I have for today is something I actually posted about yesterday on the site. Now, I have started playing Final Fantasy XII for the PS2 again. I played it some as a kid, ended up dropping it for no really good reason, and we recently picked up a copy at a used game store, and I've been loving it.
It's a very nice collector's edition, metal-y
It's
box.
right there. Oh, haha. Now, I have decided to mix up how I'm doing the canon a little bit, and instead of just kind of talking about a game I've played in the past that it's a bit older, I'm going to fully revisit and replay these games, even if it spaces out over several weeks. So right now I'm doing Final Fantasy XII. Part 1 came out yesterday on the canon on Game & Read, and you can go check that out for all my thoughts on revisiting this really pretty good Final Fantasy game that I don't think gets brought up enough.
So that's all we have for today. Make sure you check out GameandRead.com for things like the canon, our reviews, all the other shenanigans that we get to on this blog.
And you can follow us on so many social medias.
All of them!
Not all of them, because we
Most
only
of
have
them!
a few of them. We have Instagram, Twitter, and now we're on Litzy, and all of those are at Game and Read, all spelled out. So follow us on there to see all our little blurbs and updates. We'll follow you back.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time.